Hello everybody, this is Catholic Dad episode number 134. Contraception is a vote against yourself. And this is a hard pill for people to swallow. And really, I don't mean to offend anybody, but I just want to actually talk about what contraception actually is. Contraception is, you take something proactive and make it so your spouse and you cannot have a child. That's what contraception is. And so, what is your child? Well, in the old colloquial terms, the child is a chip off the old block. Your child is you. It's a nice combination of you and your spouse. And when you make the conscious decision not to have children, you're actually voting against the product of you and your spouse. Now, contraception may be a vote against yourself, but it also may be a vote against your spouse. So just something to think about, and you got to think about it. Does the world need more good people? And I would argue yes. And I think pretty much everybody out there, I don't care who you are, atheists, secularists, humanists, communists, Roman Catholics and Protestants, you name them all, everybody would say universally the world needs good people. So now you have to think about yourself and your spouse. Are you and your spouse a good person? And if you come to the conclusion that the answer is no, then you got a problem on your hands, right? Because you're not in this world to be bad. You're in this world to be good and orient yourselves towards what is right. And if you are bad, maybe you shouldn't be having children if you think about that, because your children becomes the mirror of yourself. It's chip off the old block. It becomes a nice combination of you and your spouse. But if you actually argue that you are a good person and you are made in the likeness and image of God, and you actually are oriented in good ways towards what is right, then the one obvious thing you'd want to do for the world is to create more of yourself. And I don't want to get into the theology of contraception or not. I'm just like using right reason. Let's figure out what we're doing here. If we're stopping the world from seeing more of you, right, are we doing a good thing or are we doing a bad thing using right reason? If you're good and you're innately good, and you master the virtues and you've oriented your life toward what is good, true, and beautiful, then you're doing a bad thing if you contracept, because then the world is getting less of you. Now, if you're bad, right, and then and you're oriented in the wrong way, and you're like self-absorbed, materialistic, prideful, you name it, lustful, gluttonous, all the great sins, then you might be doing the world a service, but you just to let you know that. And so you gotta think about that. And if you're not oriented toward what is right, now it's a call to you, because although not everybody is oriented towards what is right, in fact most people are not, now it's time to start praying, because now you got to start picking yourself apart, going, why aren't I oriented toward what is right? Because I can tell you what, although most people are not oriented toward what is right, good, true, and beautiful, everybody has the capacity to be so. And so if you have the capacity to do what is right no matter what, why are you not? And if you're not doing what's right, maybe it's time for a big reset button in your life. Maybe it's time to say, hold on one second. I want to do what is right, and therefore I have to orient myself in good ways. And so that's making you think about it. Contraception is a vote against you and your spouse, because your child is a product of you and your spouse, and if you don't want that child around, you don't want yourself and your spouse around. So this is Catholic Dad making you think about it. Please like or subscribe. Pray the daily rosary, get the Mass, and God bless you all.